What's up peeps and welcome back to my channel. Before I get started, I really need to apologise for my 5-week going ghost. I really needed it. It's been a crazy time, as you all know. Okay, there's been a lot of this going on and a lot of this, and we've also been to the park a lot. We have a report of some kids in the park fighting over a £1 cherryade. I also chilled with my pigeon during the storm. Moving on. Apologies for the messy background. I'm doing a wall art project today and I just wanted to get started. Here's my canvas. I've got all my paints. Let's get started. Nothing quite like a blank canvas to start your day with. I love it. I haven't done art for a long time. I've got all my acrylics here, all sorts of colours. I've got this abstract pearlescent. I've got metallics. I've got all my paint brushes, a massive brush to coat the canvas with. I've got a palette knife, fine art brushes. We're going to be using some water. I've got this thing that I'm using as a palette. It's not really a palette, but okay. It doesn't really matter as long as you get some paint on the canvas. So let's do that. Right, this might seem a bit pointless, but I'm going to start with the white on the canvas, on most of the canvas, because it's going to help us blend in the other colours so we can get some greys and whatever. We're going to be mixing some of it on the palette, some of it on the canvas. Art is about expressing yourself. You can do whatever you like, and this is why it's such a good hobby to have, especially at this crazy time with all this stuff going on, being stuck at home, etc, etc. I've got this lovely soft bristled brush. I love this. I got this off eBay. Major brushes. I'll put links down below so you can get all this stuff as well. Let's start coating this canvas with the white. I'm going to go for white on most of the top. I'm kind of taking it in sections, but as I said, you can do what you want with art, and that's the best part of it. I haven't got the ideal background and the ideal angle on the camera. Apologies for that, but you know, it's what it is. And then we're going to mix the black with the white so that we get some grey. So you can see I've got my tablet on the side of me here. I found a very similar picture actually where I got my inspiration from, so I am using it as a guide. We're not copying it at all. I'm just getting ideas of how they've done it because I really like the way that particular piece looks, and I think that I can achieve a similar thing but with my twist on it. So you can see that I'm putting brush strokes here and there quite lightly so I can decide where I want to go darker, where I'm going to stay light, what sort of shape we're going to start embedding into this. So if you do your light strokes, it kind of helps you as you go along. So don't rush, just take your time and see how it looks step by step. I'm using the thickest brush because it's going to be the quickest to get the whole canvas covered. I'm also making sure that I'm covering the sides of the canvas because we're not going to be framing it. This is where I'll start blending the colours in, putting some strokes wherever I think that they need to go. So I am going over the grey with white in certain spots. I'm putting some lines in where I think they need to go. I really enjoy seeing the brush strokes for abstract art, so that's what I'm going with. That's all up to you, of course, but I find it makes it more interesting. I don't want a really neat looking piece. I want lots of brush strokes. So I'm changing up my brush now. I'm going to use this rounded edge brush, which is going to give us more of a fluffy appearance rather than the harsh bristle lines that we've done so far. So changing up your brush here and there will change the style of your painting as well. You can have it softer and harder lines wherever you want. That's the beauty of art. I'm going to use the soft bristle, round bristle to put in extra white where I feel like I want some extra white bits to kind of stand out, and quite fluffy, almost like clouds, if that's the thing you want to go for. The rounded brushes are a lot smoother, so you get the edges. It will make a big difference on your canvas. You can see here where I'm adding the whites. I just want the white to be a little bit more stark in certain places, and you know, some of the less harsh, rigid bristle lines that we've been getting with the square edge lines. So just play around with it. Don't forget you can always change anything you want at any point. Because it's acrylic paint, it dries very quickly, especially if you're not piling it on. If you're using oils, obviously you'd have to wait for things to dry or scrape it right off before if you change your mind while you're doing it. That's why I love acrylic so much. So now we need to add a bit of texture to the painting. I mean, we've got colour going on, we've got different bristles, all of that. Now we need some texture. So this beautiful paint right here is pearlescent. It is white, well, almost, it's a bit cream. So we're just going to add this for a touch of texture, because what this does is it stays raised if you don't press it down and paint it down too much. So that's what we're going to do. We're just blodging it on straight onto the canvas, and we're going to just going to smooth it out a little bit and then just move it wherever you want. So again, I'm just randomly doing this wherever I feel like it needs to be done. I'm kind of just sticking with next to the white on this so it's not too stark. I kind of want it to just blend in with the white. So I'm just, taking a look at it and putting the blodges wherever I want. So I'm going to speed this right up, and then you'll see what it looks like after I've done with the blodges. Right, I feel like we need some gold on this right now, and I'm kind of imagining straight lines with the gold. I'm going to try and drip it on, drip it down, see how that works. It's not the greatest. I probably need a dropper for this. The paint is quite thick, so I don't know how droppers would work. I'm just going to put it on and see how it goes. Right, so I'm using my brush now because I'm not too happy with the dripping aspect of it. I'm a little bit OCD, so dripping's kind of crazy for me. So I'm just going to join these gold bits up, and I do want it to look like it's dripping down the canvas. Let's hope I can achieve that. One of the things always people say in art, what is it? What is this a representation of? This is just an expression of, me. It doesn't have to look like anything, it doesn't have to be anything, it's just what's pleasing to the eye. Apologies for the sound alerts for my messages that are coming in. So, time-lapsed, there you go, that's the gold done. Just try to decide if I want a bit more gold or not. Maybe I should just start sticking on some gold foil. I don't know. Let's get on with a few more bits of metallic paint, just so that it's not so matte. And this is where all these metallic paints come in. Again, it's like, you play with the texture and the color, and you also have to play with the, what do you call it, matte and gloss. So if you've got a little bit of matte and gloss going on, that always makes it a little bit more interesting. So I'm just adding some grey metallic paint here just for the ends, so that all of this kind of looks like it's dripping. We can also coat this with a bit of epoxy resin so that it's all glossy at the end, or a bit of Mod Podge, the gloss one, or you can keep it matte, all depending. You could do some of it in gloss, some of it in matte, just play around. So for the top part of the canvas, I'm adding some silver. That's going to be lighter, so it's going to kind of keep the top of the canvas lighter than the bottom. I want the bottom really black and the top white and, light grey and silver. So hopefully that's going to work out and look the way I want it to. So now I'm getting ready to finish this off. I like how it looks so far. I'm just going to add a bit of dark here and there. I'm manipulating the drips a little bit because they're not tidy enough for me. I'm also adding some black here and there in between the light bits as well, because I think the contrast looks really nice. I'm just doing whatever I feel right now, and I'm just going to time lapse this bit until we get to the gold foil and show you the end result as soon as possible. Here's our gold foil, ta-da! The best bit. I think this makes a lot of impact. It gives it that pizzazz that you need, so we definitely need the gold foil. You're meant to do this with tweezers, but I don't find that that's actually very effective, so I'm just doing it with my fingers, and it will be sticking all over my fingers just like it has on that packet. We're using a dry brush, a soft bristle brush, just to flatten it out a little bit. And we are going to have a lot of texture with this, and that is one of the reasons I've put this on, because I feel like this is what it needs. We don't want a flat painting, so the more texture we get with the gold foil, the better. I actually found that while I was applying this onto wet paint instead of using glue, it was oxidizing a little bit, so it was going a little bit green. We don't have any green on the picture, so I'm going to use some holographic glitter, which will appear green when we're finished. Just a couple of bits, not too much. I hope it's not going to ruin it, but there it is. It is what it is. I ended up unable to record the holographic glitter. I basically just waxed some Mod Podge in certain areas and just drizzled it all over, sprinkled it all over. You'll see it at the end, but it did get too dark in the room to record that bit, unfortunately. The gold foil does get a bit tedious, it sticks to everything, but yeah, I'll show you the end result in a few seconds. So here it is hanging in my son's bedroom. Bits that are green, that's holographic glitter. We've got some gold leaf foil. Thanks for watching. If you haven't yet subscribed to this channel, please consider doing so, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace out.